Is everyone just cheating now? Is it okay to use a Zen? What even is a Zen and how does it work? Why is everyone talking about cheating recently? These are all questions I'm sure you've heard, and I'm gonna go over all of my thoughts on them in this video. Let's just get right into it. I'm not gonna waste any of your time. The first thing I want to talk about is a Zen. I'm sure you've heard of this before, and it's a bit different than typical wall hack cheats or just aimbot. And the thing that makes it so different is the fact that you just plug it in as if it was a controller or whatever you tell it to show up as. And it's not even really a program that you run on your computer or console, so there's no real way to detect it. So how does it work? What does it actually do? So there are lots of ways to use this, and it's part of the reason why it's not just outright banned to sell and no one's like yelling at the creators of this, because you don't have to use it for cheating. And that's exactly how they market it. So they're not selling cheats to people because they'd get in a lot of trouble for that. Before I even owned a computer, I had a PS4 and an Xbox, and I bought a special scuff controller for my Xbox, you know, one with the paddles on the bottom. And I researched how could I use my Xbox controller on a PS4 without having to buy a new controller with the paddles on the bottom. And using an old version of what now is a Zen, it's just called a Cronus Plus, I was able to just plug in my Xbox controller directly in my PS4. I wasn't cheating at all. I just didn't want to have to buy a new controller. So that's an example of how you don't use it for cheating. So now that we got that out of the way, specifically the way it works is you download scripts, or basically just lines of code that someone has made that might tell your input into the computer or console to do a certain thing, like jiggle the crosshair back and forth in a certain way to improve the stickiness of aim assist, or counteract the recoil of a particular gun, like, you know, when it pulls away from you. Or in a game where you jump really high and land really hard, and you might like move your whole gun around when you land, it can completely counteract the bounce that might occur, like in Black Ops 3 when you had the jetpacks. I know because I had a buddy that was using it to cheat. Lots of different ways these can be used for cheating, and they're basically completely undetectable because you're not putting anything on your computer itself. It's just a little device you load these things onto, and usually it just gets read as a regular controller. So you can switch between the different weapons you might have on there, or the aim assist help, or really any script you might have on that with just a single push of a button, which is really easy to do mid-game, to switch between them and to turn it off and on at will. So it's easy to think you might have just hit a couple lucky shots. So what does this mean? Should you just go out and get one because everyone else is? Well, Fortnite recently did a LAN event. I think it was DreamHack Sweden. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But either way, it was very recent. And Arab, his name is Your Fellow Arab. You probably heard of him. He's doing like IRL streams now, and he plays a bit of Fortnite. He was walking around looking at a lot of people's setups and just observing the gameplay from the backside of the game. And I kid you not, there were probably 15 or more, without him even really looking for them, Zens plugged into the computer, and no one said or did anything. Like, what?
This is the cheater table, huh?
Zen for me to troll people if you want to use it.
Actually, selling best Zens and scripts.
No leaks.
Sign confidentiality. Read approved?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me get one. Keep the change, yeah? Cool. I just have a lot of confidence today for some reason.
An official event. And let's just say they weren't Zens or they weren't using it for cheats. It's still really hard to know, and that's where the big problem lies. All of these people using them are professional and reputable Fortnite pros. So it's a big problem. Obviously, almost everyone is using one. And in my opinion, I think it's time for Epic Games to come out and actually say, this is not allowed to use on our game. I know it really wouldn't do much, especially because it's undetectable, but it would still help. For instance, maybe some of you will remember this. Before double movement software became a normal thing, Booga and a couple of other pros would put cardboard to hold some of their keys down in order to achieve the same effect. He even stopped showing his keyboard cam because he didn't want people to know. So my point is, if there's someone practicing for an official event and Fortnite has come out and said, no, you cannot use this, we're not allowing it, we'll be looking for it, then people may stop using it to practice with overall, or at least not as much, because they know if they practice with cheats, they're not going to do any good in the real event. So until the game creator comes out and says, yes, we don't allow this, myself and everyone else is just going to assume that they don't really care. So you might as well just go ahead and do it. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think you should be using any sort of cheats in any way. And truly, I don't think I would ever use them because it doesn't seem very fun. I just don't really see the appeal. I lose my entertainment value when I just have something playing the game for me better than I could actually do it. I find fun in trying to improve and the satisfaction of actually getting something you've been working towards. Now, I understand this is for hundreds of thousands of dollars, so it's not always just that simple and wholesome. But until they say something, I say you should probably get one yourself, as sad as that is, because it's simply not fair for someone else to have that and they're not going to do anything about it and you don't. I really hope they come out soon and say something so all of these go away, or at least they start to. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's your opinion on this? Tell me down in the comments. And if you subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, it really helps out. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Check out one of these videos now. The algorithm really thinks you might like it. How do they always know things like this? See you soon, guys.